De'Ara filed a lawsuit against Ken last night, y'all. This lawsuit is public record, so if you want to go look it up for yourself, do so. But I have summed everything up right here. Let's get into it first. So I have it. De'Ara sues Ken. So we're gonna start from the beginning of the relationship, y'all. De'Ara wanted to pursue social media and do that, whatever we're saying. Ken was working at Home Depot, all right? De'Ara created a YouTube channel for Ken and De'Ara, DK4 as we know it, you know what I'm saying? De'Ara added, so that was going good. They was doing content, making stuff, whatever the cause may be, and it was going good, right? As we know, DK4L. De'Ara added her deals and sponsorships that she was getting on the side, you know, like, Fashion Nova and things like that, into the DK4L account. They had a joint account, DK4L account. It was an LLC, so they had a joint account, whatever they put all the money into from the YouTube. They was only making money from YouTube, not from like the other social medias, right? Ken was cheating multiple amounts throughout the relationship. So Ken cheated scandals. He was cheating with fans, and all type of other shit like that. Ken was cheating on her. After, you know, she was like, okay, Ken was cheating, they decided, to reconcile. She forgave him, whatever. They did counseling. Okay, after they did counseling, Ken ended up proposing. They got engaged. And after they got engaged, things really blew up even more for them. Cheated publicly, aka the viral video of him rubbing that girl's butt. He was rubbing that girl's butt, and that was kind of like one of the last straws for De'Ara, seeing that online. It was public. In public, it was embarrassing for her to be publicly humiliated like that, whatever the cause may be. So De'Ara's doing solo content on their joint page, whatever, and Ken's unhappy about it because De'Ara's doing the content and still getting the views and still making the money for the both of them, though, right? Because it's a joint account, whatever the cause may be. So Ken doesn't like that she's still getting money, and he's like, she's still getting money, but it's his fault that he's not in the videos too, because he didn't want to be in the videos because he wasn't agreeing with making videos with her. So Ken refuses to make content. And Kim was getting jealous of De'Ara, of her, you know, making content without him, although they were still together, you know, on their joint channel, whatever. May 2021, Ken gets caught cheating while De'Ara is doing business out on business trip. Again, this was after the viral video, and this is when Kim was on live talking about girls' butts or whatnot. So after he gets caught again on live talking to girls, Ken asks De'Ara to stay with him and blames the media for trying to twist it and turn it into what it was not, when exactly what it was. So May 2021, Ken and De'Ara break up. They split. Ken moved out and let De'Ara keep everything and got his own place in his own car, whatever the cause may be, and did not want to help De'Ara move out or nothing like that, whatever the case may be. Ken tries collecting money from De'Ara's personal deals. At this point, they like broke up and they were still like sharing the account. So now I have Ken tries collecting money from De'Ara's personal deals, aka stealing. He was trying to steal from her in their joint account from her deals. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, they reach out to a lawyer. De'Ara no longer wanted to be in business partners because they, you know what I'm saying? So they reached out to a lawyer because they could not agree. Got an attorney to split money. De'Ara would finish paying for Tesla. They had a Tesla together. De'Ara would finish paying for it and after split $40K down the middle from the bank return. So the money, the liability money from the loan back from the bank, they would get 40 grand back. De'Ara was going to finish paying off the Tesla, and then once the 40 grand came back from the bank, they would split it 20K and 20K, right? Mind you, the Tesla's in Ken's name at this time. You know what I'm saying? So they agreed also with this attorney to leave the YouTube active and split the money that accumulates from the YouTube channel that they make together. So, you know, because everybody loved DK4, we were still going to watch them or whatever the cause may be, right? So they agreed to split the money. And they agreed to split the DK4L account. The money in the DK4L account, they agreed to split it with $220K, $220,000, $250,000 to Ken, and $250,000 going to De'Ara because she made a little bit more money because of those deals and sponsorships, whatever. She was getting a little bit more. And they agreed to leave $80K in the account, the joint account, for staff and liabilities and bills or whatever the case may be, right? And along with that, they each kept their retirement accounts with $70K each. So he was leaving with $290,000. Ken was leaving with that much. Yeah. So at this point, they're broke up. November 23rd, 2022. De'Ara checked the joint account, the DK4L account, for bills and whatnot. Ken was sending himself lump sums of money. Stealing! The account was almost empty. AKA, Ken was violating the agreement that they had with the attorney. And he blamed medical bills. Said he would pay it back. Ken said he would pay it back. Ken steals for over a year. At this point, Ken was stealing for over a year, y'all. Not only was he stealing for over a year from the joint account, right? Mind you, the channel was still up, right? Ken got the 40K back from that loan from the bank, and he did not give De'Ara her 20K that they agreed to split. He kept the entire 40K. Oh my God, Ken! I did not think like this is crazy because literally like a week ago I was talking about seeing him and his new girl. Off topic, sorry. Let me slide this in. And I was talking about how like maybe like he wasn't really a cheater. It was like they were separated and just putting on for the tube. No, he was cheating. That's crazy. That nice little smile. So after not giving De'Ara her 20K that she was supposed to get out of that 40K, Ken tried justifying him keeping the entire 40K back from the bank with that while they were together, De'Ara spent more money from the joint account. Okay, now that just happened. Now we are all the way in December of 2022. De'Ara hits up attorney because it was getting heated between the two of them, and they made a new agreement. And this new agreement, Ken keeps the 40K that he already stole. He already kept, and he admitted that he already spent it, and he signs the car to De'Ara, so De'Ara gets to keep the car. And they agreed to delete the YouTube channel because Ken was stealing, and it was only benefiting him because De'Ara wasn't taking the money out of that joint account because that was for bills and for their staff and stuff like that, and for liability stuff and taxes and stuff. No, Ken said, I'm gonna just take all the money, right? Because it would only benefit him. So then that's why they deleted the channel. They agreed to split proceeds from real estate 50-50. So now this is when the real estate getting split 50-50. They agreed to split it 50-50. So before Ken was agreeing to pay that money back that he was stealing out of the joint account, sending himself lump sums, he had agreed to pay De'Ara back, right? This was like, they just came to that agreement that he pay it back. So at this point, right, in 2022, Ken failed to honor repaying De'Ara for stealing from DK4L account, right? They had limited interactions in 2023. September 2023, De'Ara hired multiple accountant and multiple bankers and accountants to manage the account stuff for DK4L, right? They let De'Ara and Ken know the tax liability, and Ken ignored them. So after they did all the paperwork, they let Ken know, what he would have to pay for the tax liability, and De'Ara and Ken ignored them, leaving De'Ara to pay everything by herself, right? That's what he was basically doing, right? They never discussed other socials. It wasn't making money. So the Snapchat or whatever, the YouTube, the Instagram they may have had together, the Facebook they may have get together, they never discussed it because they were never making money from it. So that was just one of the things that they never discussed, right? De'Ara reactivated her old Snap, so it was probably under her type of email. Even though it says De'Ara and Ken, it was under her email, so she reactivated that. And Ken turned the DK4L Facebook, which people were talking about, into his own personal and seized control of the joint email of DK4L. He changed the passwords and took it over for himself. He's control over the DK4L email, which should have been shared, and he proceeded to change the joint Facebook into a personal Facebook. And I feel like this was going against the agreement because it was a joint Facebook. Whereas though with the Snapchat with De'Ara, that was something that was under her own email. But actually, they never did discuss the social media. So honestly, I feel like it kind of is maybe low-key valid for him to change the what's the name. So we're done with this whole paper. Let's get on to paper number 2. So now we're in 2024, November 2024. De'Ara had attorneys reach out to Ken in regards to paying the tax. Like we know in the last video I said, where Ken literally was taking all the money out of the 80K that they left in the joint account for things like taxes and staffs and bills and stuff like that. They're supposed to he was taking the money. So, and basically there was nothing left in it. So the attorney reached out to Ken about paying on the taxes that was coming up, and Ken responded with he couldn't afford to pay the taxes. So with that being done, Ken asked De'Ara to pay the full taxes, and he agreed to sign a promissory, which is basically, to sum it up, the definition of that is a promissory is basically promising to repay an amount of money, and it's usually done within payments. But then Ken stopped responding. He did not sign that, like he said. He said he told the lawyer, okay, send that over, I'll sign that. He agreed to it, but he never actually signed. Oh, okay. So after ignoring them, mind you, this is in November 2024, literally just last year, Ken then reached out weeks later to De'Ara to complain, December 2024, about De'Ara reinactivating the Snapchat, and the money that she was potentially making from it. All right, next. All right, so 2021 and 2022, De'Ara paid state taxes, right? Did not ask Ken for nothing. He just paid that, even though he should be helping, right? All right, now September of 2024, De'Ara paid the IRS $11,000. Right, that was in September 2024. Now, she's supposed to be waiting for obviously Ken to, help pay, which is why she reached out to the attorney and asked about him paying it. And she waited for Ken's promissory. She waited for Ken to sign that paperwork saying that he would pay her back if she paid the full thing, so that she could pay the rest, the remaining $11,000 balance on it. But it was never received. Ken never signed it. He never did whatever he was supposed to do. So then Ken is crying broke and says that he moved back in with his mom. But Ken got $237,000 as De'Ara. They both got $237,000 in 2023, which was just last year, for the real estate sale. So how do you not have the money to help pay back? But just a year before, you got $237,000 on top of the other $290,000 that you walked away in the relationship with. That's over $500,000. So you're telling me in 3 years span, 4 years span, you You just spent $500,000. You spent $500,000 in 4 years? Are you dead ass serious? Okay, anyways. So so here's a summary as to why I took screenshots of the lawsuit as a summary as to why De'Ara is filing the lawsuit. So Kim's actions ruined DK4L by cheating multiple times. Because Walker breached the fiduciary duty to DK4L LLC and his managing member Taylor De'Ara, based on whatever, Taylor is entitled to recover her damages in an amount to be determined at trial. De'Ara wants to go to trial and she wants a jury. Literally, she does not care about coming to no agreement. She wants to take it straight to trial. De'Ara is coming for your neck. But De'Ara wants bread and she wants it now. You're done for. I just want you to know that. But in no event less than $100,000. She wants nothing less than $100,000. That's crazy. Okay. Next, Walker admitted that while he still had access to DK4L LLC business account, and after he had already received his agreed upon share of profits, $220, based on an agreement the parties made when they just separated and stopped making new content, Walker willingly, secretly, and unlawfully took money from DK4L LLC's account for the purpose of covering his own personal living expenses, including but not limited to cars, a vast amount of club outings, luxury trips, high-end clothing, and jewelry. After the payout, Walker no longer had the right to take any ownership in the money remaining in the account. Oh, wow. This is embezzlement. This is fraud. This is theft. Wow, this is crazy. This is actually crazy. Walker's use of the stolen money for his personal living expenses made it unlikely for DK4L LLC and Taylor to recover the money. Walker intentionally took the money from DK4L LLC's account with no intention to putting the money back. This is basically like at the end where they sum up everything, where like basically saying the reason why they're suing and all that. Walker's theft caused DK4L LLC account to be underfunded and caused plaintiff De'Ara to have to use her personal money to cover the liabilities of DK4L. Walker's actions were the direct and proximate cause of DK4L and LLC's basically demise, like their whole downfall of things, Walker's theft and refusal to repay the money he stole and refusal to pay his share of DK4L's LLC's tax liabilities, despite multiple opportunities and extended period of time to pay, caused Taylor to file this lawsuit and incur unnecessary litigation expenses. So she was not going to even sue him or really care that much. She just wanted him to pay that little funky ass $11,000. If you would have just paid the taxes, to be paying her over $100,000. She let you get away with stealing $20,000 from her on top of $80,000. Are you dead ass serious right now? Because Walker's bad faith conduct forced De'Ara to file this lawsuit. De'Ara asked that the court award her attorney's fees and costs related to the litigation plaintiff De'Ara demands a trial by jury on any and all issues triable by a jury. She demands for jury trial, and she prays that the court grants her relief.